Hey, 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 it is November 1st, 2024, 11 a.m. Pacific. I can never say that. Pacific Standard Time right here on the West Coast. I am Brandon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps, where we as a collective, preferably martial arts school owners, try to figure out this thing called life. We own businesses because we want to create this version of success. Do we know what that version of success is? I don't know. That's for you to define. But for me, it really is. I just got off a group mentoring call. And number one is to take care of my family well. Number two is to take care of my team. And number three is the community, not in any specific order at any given time. But those are my purpose. And through that, I learned to live my best life. And that the philosophy not only is integrated into our schools, it's integrated into my consulting, integrated into our life skills program, Kids Love Life Skills, on and on and on. Everything I do centers around that purpose of live your best life. So let's thank our sponsors. Who do we have? Tucson Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting, and now Kin Creative, and all people that I work with that impact my business tremendously and are responsible for a certain percentage of our growth and our sustainability as a business. If you don't know these businesses, check them out, get them, know them, do what you need to do. What do we got coming up? It's Time Life Purpose. Man, I'm so excited. Starting this Friday, but people are coming in Thursday. I'm telling people watch classes on Friday if they want, but it really all starts Saturday morning, 9 a.m., as we start watching classes to learn the culture of one martial arts. Me, Dave Kovar, Adam Lodi, Shannon G. Park, and Sam On are here to help you to create that 2025, but more importantly, to discover your purpose, to grow your school, and to transform your life. That's my mantra for this event. So you can still come for the 1 or 2 day. Unfortunately, the 4-day event is packed and it's sold out. So think about that. Some people said, can I just come to Kovar's event for boot camp training? Anybody in the Bay Area? Absolutely. You want to come for 2 days? You can come for the 2 days. Cool? Just make sure you get signed up ASAP. Let me say hi to people as you come aboard. Who do we got? Bob Poole, Gold's Martial Arts. Bob, I count on you being here. So I thank you for that, Bob. Anybody else who's here, say hello. Tell us where you're tuning in from. And we love to give you a shout out because I don't do this thing called life alone. I simply do not. I simply do not. I simply do not. And that mindfulness and humility has served me well in cultivating a team where they can make this their career by impacting a community and doing the things needed to best position our business, earn trust. And everything today is going to be about trust. Write it down. Right? In the words of Aretha Franklin, TRUST. Now, it's not respect, huh, Marco? RESPECT. Can I do that with trust? No, I have to add something else in there. You get what I'm saying. But it really is about trust. And in the world we live in today, and it's true, look at our politics right now, right? Everything is about misinformation, lies, fact checking, the whole 9 yards. I mean, it's front and center right now in our culture, this election, but it really has got me thinking. And that's what's inspired today's show. We look at if that's the highest level, right, in our hierarchy in this country is the politics, and it's filled with misinformation and lies and everything. How does that trickle down to us, the martial arts school owner, right? How does that trickle down to us? And I saw it recently. Somebody just got busted for child pornography, and another guy just got, I don't know, for lewd acts with teenagers. That does not help. That does not help our cause. It absolutely does not help our cause. So I look at it and I say to myself, right, how do we earn that trust? It's a real uphill battle because coming out of the gate, because of the conditioning people experience with their, right, doses and doses and doses of social media, they're habitually taught not to trust anything they see on the internet. But if that's one of the ways we market, how do we earn that trust? Think about it. Put your questions in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them for you. And I liken it to this, and this is my example I use constantly. If I go into my favorite restaurant, I order my favorite dish, and the chef makes it just the way I like, I'm coming back again. I come back a second time. Oh, somebody else is on duty. Decides to make my dish a little differently, right? I don't know. There's doubt now. I might give you a third chance. And if I go back a third time and somebody messes up my favorite dish, I will never go to your restaurant again. So that is where consistency earns trust. So, how would I do that? Well, on the mat, of course, it's through systems. Everybody's trained to teach a front kick the same way. If everybody teaches it the same way, same pad, same introduction, same energy, same delivery, I begin to trust that. But if you have a student ever say to you, well, Mr. So and so said do it this way, not a good day. And I start with that because the heart and soul of what we do in our schools is martial arts instruction. Put aside the birthday parties, day camps, retail, after school program, right? Those additional revenue streams. The bulk of what we generate revenue wise will be martial arts classes. So the consistency of delivering that instruction at the highest level should be a number one priority. And I get it. People are spending money on marketing and this gimmick and that gimmick, when really you should be spending the bulk of your resources and time and money on, beyond payroll and rent, on curriculum development and staff training. That's it. That's it. Because I know if I can do that, that we're going to reduce our attrition rate and improve our retention. I wanted to start there because I don't care how great your marketing is. You want to put a bad restaurant out of business, give them great marketing. You with me? So when we talk about trust being the last true form of marketing, understand marketing starts on that mat. I always share the story of the Korean master that came to observe classes for a couple of days because he was tripped out, right? Because a lot of Taekwondo uses contracts and upgrades and belt testing fees and things of that nature. And he was just tripped out that we generate all this revenue teaching martial arts classes without contracts, without belt testing fees, without upgrades. Hey, Ashton, what's happening, sir? Good to see you here. Hey, if anyone else is coming aboard, say hello. Tell me who you are, where you're tuning in from. And so he said, what I witness here over the past couple of days is you sell all the time. And I was offended for a minute. What do you mean? My team and I sell all the time, he says, with hello at the front door and tying their belt, and the consistency in the same warm up, and the energy level is consistent. The tone of voice is consistent. The level of instruction is consistent. Your interaction with the parents in the waiting area is consistent, on and on and on. So the mindfulness to have that sense of consistency begins when they put on their uniform. That's why we have a little sign in our instructors' rooms that says, treat every student today like it was their first day. We know it. The love we give to the first day student, that's powerful marketing. The distrust we earn is when we treat that year 3 student like old shoes, right? They've been here forever. They're going to be here forever. So you don't give them the same love. So again, it's a mindset. It's a mindset. And we're very disciplined about that we treat every student with that sense of love and excitement and newness that comes with treating every student today like it was their first day. I know it's a little philosophical at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, but you get what I'm saying with that mindfulness. And so that's really, really big. So he said that because I recognize we do all of our selling on the mat. On the mat. And if I can't trust the classes you're teaching in consistency in teaching, attitude, technique, delivery, my striping system, the confusion that comes because I don't know what Pumse number 5 is versus self-defense technique number 2 because you don't have great instructional videos, on and on. So we spend a lot of time and resources on curriculum development and staff training, a lot. And then how we communicate to the parents so they get it. They get it. They get it. They get it. And for those of you coming out to It's Time Life Purpose, you'll see it. Next week when you come in, we are on Learn Week. Brown Stripe 6, Learn Week. There's a brown stripe for year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. Everybody knows that. Everybody sees that. It's up on the TV. It's up all over the school. It goes in the e-newsletter. Everybody's aware. So you have a 17-year-old instructor and that parent says, my kid didn't earn a stripe this week. Well, if you look right up there, we are on Learn Week. So nobody is earning that brown stripe this week. Oh, okay, great. I trust that. It's there up on the wall. Nobody has a brown stripe on their belt. It's a good day. So again, creating these different systems, not only in teaching the curriculum, but in communicating the curriculum to your families, earns that trust. And that's super important. Why? Because if your parents trust you, one of the best forms of marketing is word of mouth. I know people want to spend some slick AI generated. Don't use the Christmas Santa Claus this season. I'm gonna come hunt you down. I don't want to see some AI generated Christmas Santa Clauses in a karate uniform. Stop it. You're better than that. Your brand is better than that. Your story is so much more meaningful than an AI generated Santa Claus in a Christmas suit, right? So again, that mom at the bus stop who trusts you, who loves you, who believes in you, telling another mom, my kid has gained confidence and an ABC at One Martial Arts, that's just good stuff, right? That's good stuff. And that's one of the most powerful forms of marketing. Now, trust. I've got this great curriculum. I have this great team delivering it. I have parents raving about me, but I go look at your ad and it's some stock photos. It's some stock videos, some chat GPT generated copy that says you'll get more leads if you use this copy. That's a huge disconnect. That is a huge disconnect because I just talked to this mom that raves about you, right? That says her kid's got an ABC, but your Facebook ads are saying DEF. You with me? So, one of the first things I recommend to people is that they go back into all of their social media, primarily website, write it down, your Facebook, your Google business page. That's super, super important. And make sure consistently every photo, every post, everything that's there matches. Did you know Google will frown upon you if your hours are different at Yelp from your hours at Google, from hours at your website? That shows lack of attention to your business. But more importantly, it shows inconsistency. And that inconsistency organically in the digital world builds distrust. Cool? What's Bob's question there? I'm starting as Santa Claus at photography studio this week. All pics. Hey, that's good. That's fun, Bob. That's really, really fun. I should do that. That's kind of cool, right? Bob's going to get pictures of him as Santa Claus. Yeah. Yeah. Make sure your logo's everywhere, though. Logo on your Santa thing or the hat or something. I don't know what that looks like. So, hey, Marco, look what I'm eating as a snack. Oh, my wife's chocolate chip cookies. Who's coming out for It's Time?
That's not fair.
So, that's the first thing you really need to do. I'm really appalled when I see your website, and in this case, One Martial Arts, Live Your Best Life, right up top, front and center. Then I look at the copy, and it's all fear-based and nothing about living your best life. All about if you don't do karate, your kid's going to get jumped tomorrow at school and get beat up. If you don't do karate, they're going to be 35 living in your garage playing video games, right? Inconsistent. Then I go to your Facebook, and your Facebook now has a bunch of stock photos of kids in white uniforms, and everybody in your school wears black uniforms. Okay? We're not done. Then I go over to Google and I go, wow, the trial offer said one complimentary class, at their Facebook. But here at Google, it says 2 weeks and a t-shirt for $69. All of that creates confusion, creates chaos, and it was where that distrust is cultivated. Okay? And I'm going to tell you, politically, it's been proven, right? I'm going to get a little political for a moment, as much you'll get out of me. If I create chaos, if I create confusion, I weaken people's mindset. But in our industry, if you create chaos and confusion and just all your social media and everything's inconsistent, then people just simply go somewhere else. Because I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. 1 minute you're talking about kids and parenting, and next minute you got a picture of some UFC guys smashing someone's face. It's very inconsistent. That's why, we don't cross market. You will never see us put out an ad that promotes fitness, kickboxing, day camp, after school, and martial arts classes all in the same ad. It's lazy. I know you're on a budget, but it's lazy. And that inconsistency doesn't work. I can't hyper focus on any one program and really earn that trust by talking about the benefits of that program if I'm cross marketing like that. I've got a picture like that though from back in the day. It's a collage, right? One guy's kicking this way, the other woman's punching this way in fitness kickboxing. The kid's got a thumbs up smiling. It's like, which way did he go? Which way did he go? It is so confusing. It is so confusing. So be extremely mindful of that. The one thing you can do right now is sit down and say, what is my message? Who are we? What separates us? The all proverbial question I ask all the time is, why do I want to come to your martial arts school versus Joe Karate down the street? And the last thing I want to do is sing the same song as everybody else, because nothing sets us apart. Now, I'm not in competition with another martial arts school, but I am in competition with understanding what a great brand is, understanding my brand messaging, understanding how I want to communicate that brand message. That's what I'm in competition with. As I shared in our group mentoring call today, you have a skill set to be a martial artist, a skill set to be a martial arts instructor. Huge part of our industry stops right there, right there. They believe somehow, some way, because they're a great instructor, that's going to make them a great small business owner. It simply will not. It's a different skill set. And then you should become a great marketer. You should become a great storyteller. You should become, adequate at the minimal of how to negotiate a website. All of those things. All of those things need to happen, because as a small business owner, you're going to have to wear a lot of hats. And you're always multitasking, right? Borderline ADHD. You'll love this one, Marco. I got Taya this big giant skeleton thing, and it came in a box about as big as a freaking king size bed. So that needs to go in the garage. So I need to make space and clean out the garage. I realized I had 11 boxes of documentation that passed the limit, whatever the 7-10 year statute. So I could get them shredded. So between Halloween last night and 10 a.m. this morning, I was online looking for a shredding company that would come here, stand in my driveway, shred that paper with me watching it. So, because it's sensitive docs, I don't want you to take my stuff back to your shop and start getting social security numbers and stuff off of it, right? So I got a service out here between 9:30 and 10 before my group mentoring call. How does one do that? Because the mindset that comes with that is super important. And if you're going to trust the last two forms of marketing, you need to become skilled at marketing to a certain degree. To a certain degree, it's so, so important. Cool? Hey, I see a lot of people sitting there. As you come aboard, say hello. Tell me where you're tuning in from. So we've talked about your social media platforms. The other thing that's going to earn distrust is you posting inconsistently. Schedule out a time every week, just an hour on a Sunday, and methodically go through all the events. Us, it's the Halloween party. Post. We'll do a couple of lives, some stories, some reels, but it's very consistent. The imagery we post is consistent. You would never see a shot of us side kicking somebody in the stomach, launching the kid to the ground. You would never see stuff like that. You will see the post we do for the Halloween party in SF is very similar to the post we do with our Halloween party in Millbrae. So I think even that's important. Do we do some things inappropriately by not being consistent? Yeah, I go in and delete them. My team has no problem with it. They'll point stuff out that I do as well. So it's important that whatever your brand message is, you control the narrative. Write that down. Control the narrative. Now, we're not talking about misinformation and lying and all those other things. We're talking about valuing your brand, valuing your brand message. Ours is live your best life. Valuing it and making sure that you integrate it intentionally with purpose into everything that you do. Everything. Because trust is the last true form of marketing. So you call our schools, they answer the phone. Live your best life at One Martial Arts. So-and-so speaking. Somebody walks in the school. High five. How you doing today, Johnny? You ready to live your best life? We're in the warm up. People warming up, doing their thing. Look at little Jimmy living his best life, doing that push up at a level 10 with his back nice and straight. We finished the class. Bow it out. Class, what are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life. Our e-newsletter, which I'm working on right now, it says it. Live your best life with the latest news at OMA. Even in a subject line of an email, we intentionally interject our brand message of live your best life. You with me? Hey, Marty, what's happening? Black Dragon Martial Arts. So something as simple as that. Go to our website. What do you see at the top? Live your best life. So we're very mindful with intent and habit to cultivate a brand message, a brand message. What do I say at the end of this show? What are you going to go out there and do? I say, live your best life. That is our brand. And I learned that very strongly from Nike, a company that's been around since the 70s. I worked with a Nike guy for about 6 months, purposefully teaching me about branding. Oh, God, I won't tell you how much I paid for that, but it was worth every cent. I would pay him more. I would today. Absolutely. Think of Nike. What is Nike? Just do it. Intent, right? It's that saying has been around since the 70s. Even through Michael Jordan and all the rest they've done, that stands on its own. Just do it. My 16-year-old has a t-shirt that says just do it. My daughter has one. I mean, because the words separately, just, nothing, do, it, but you put those 3 words together, just do it. The brand message says people that wear Nike, apparel, shoes, etc., are action takers. They were very clear about that. Very clear about that. Because Nike is what? Marco, some Greek god or something? Tell me what's Nike again? I should know this. God, the guy, he'd be pissed if I said that. What does Nike mean? Somebody help me out. It's Greek for something. It's just an excuse, Marco, to take another bite of this cookie. Man, it's good. So what does Nike mean? Help me out. Mobile? Come on.
The goddess of victory.
The goddess of victory. That is not something that's going to connect with someone that's a football player, basketball player, an athlete, right? It's not. It's not. So they recognize that. The Nike swoosh supports the brand. But really what drives it home, that emotional connection, just do it. So figure it out, right? Ours is live your best life. But that's step 1. That's only the beginning. As I shared, the phone call, the greeting at the front door, the top of our website, my show, everything I do, I'm always cultivating. How many times have I said live your best life in this show already? I'm cultivating brand awareness. And the more I consistently communicate my brand, no matter what platform, Kids Love Life Skills, right? It's time consulting, One Martial Arts, Kids Love Life Skills. It's always being communicated. And that consistency builds trust. The yin to the yang of that, people that tell lies, unfortunately, that too builds trust. Maybe an ill-fated trust, but nonetheless, it builds trust. So it's scary. So I want to really make sure when I cultivate this brand that's going to earn trust, the last true form of marketing, that it's deeply rooted in core values, not ego, not insecurity, not narcissism, but genuinely. And I've made it a purpose to study cults. I study cults. I know people say that's weird. I watch a lot of documentaries because I think I'm almost perplexed. Some of the choices people make because they're so brainwashed. Who would ever believe another human being, is some god? That's just crazy. But I'm curious to know how powerful that is, that it can influence people that way. It's negative and it's unhealthy by far. But what can we learn from that when we're cultivating a brand, right? For me, it's very important. It was never based upon me. So in that trust, I had to make sure it didn't center around a personality. Why? Personalities are flawed. There you go. You're a human being. You're flawed. So if you're going to sell this personality, then you're spending a lot of time and energy perpetrating a fraud, keeping up, this facade. You can't build a trusted, meaningful brand around it. Who knows who created Nike? I don't even know. I don't know who's the CEO. I don't know any of it, but people trust. If they wear a Nike, they're action takers, just do it. So that's a big part of trust, is creating a brand and a brand statement rooted in healthy core values. And for me, what is it about? Taking care of my family, taking care of my team, taking care of the community. That's probably one of the most selfless positions you possibly could take. I enjoy it. It works well for me, and it keeps me in the right place, right? And that's important. That's so important in everything that we do. Okay, so now if you've gone through your Facebook, you've gone through your website, you've gone through your Google business page, you've gone through your Instagram. I don't know anything about TikTok because I don't TikTok, and I don't believe my audience, mom with a 6-year-old kid, hangs out at TikTok. I don't believe that. I believe she still hangs out at Facebook, maybe has ventured a little bit into Instagram, but I know for a fact if I ask that mom with a 6-year-old kid right now, find me the best restaurant in Millbrae, she's going to freaking Google it. So we tend to live in those platforms, right? Of course, your website as well. I want you to go in, and the first thing I want you to do is make sure every photo is not a stock photo. Make sure. And if you find a really good shot, use it repeatedly in a Facebook ad, in a website, at Google Business, at your Facebook, because a picture speaks 1,000 words. And I might have to see that picture a dozen times, right? So if I see it Google, I see it at your website, I see it in a graphic ad for Facebook, I see it in a social media post, guess what? Organically, through consistency, you're going to earn trust. And if that image communicates, live your best life, even better. Even better. I'm in a whole nother league. You with me? Hey, Miss Monique. What's happening? Karate for girls. So think about that. And then, of course, and Miss Monique is a good example now that she's here, is that once you know that, live your best life, you have to do community events, create in-house events, different things that cultivate that, because those are forms of marketing. How do we generate new students? Facebook ads, right? Referrals, right? Teaching great classes, okay. In-house events that we hold to generate leads, and of course, community events to generate leads. Now, Miss Monique has an all-girls school, right? They're called Karate for Girls. Imagine if she did UFC Fight Night. I don't think that would resonate. I'd be like, what the heck, right? Imagine, I don't know, just hypothetically, you did a fundraising event for a clinic that does vasectomies for men. Again, that wouldn't make any sense. So, because it's a women-centric business, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, absolutely. A self-defense thing, absolutely, right? Raising money, like I used to work for Raphael House, and Raphael House catered to battered women who are going through drug abuse and things like that are now clean and trying to get acclimated into the world. I'd go there once every 2 weeks, and I would do talks on how to interview well for jobs, and I would teach them life skills. And it was a beautiful thing. I would get to stay for their dinner meal and watching all these women and kids working together, preparing meals, right? And sitting with them and knowing that I'm impacting, that was powerful for me. Just super, super powerful. But that's something I would look for, Miss Monique, right? There's a lot of women's shelters out there, right? Battered women that are trying to get through drug abuse, and their kids are with them. That was the beautiful thing. If you get a chance to look up Raphael House, and I'm sure it's in your community too, but there's an example, right? I want to help people live their best life, so you need to interview well for a job. Let me come in and show you how to talk, walk, and what skill set you need to best position yourself to get that job if that's your goal. You with me? So again, we cater to kids. I wouldn't have UFC Fight Night in my school. It will not earn trust for my brand. Well, I like UFC fights. That doesn't matter. I like Bruce Lee, and there's not a poster of him hanging in my schools. Anywhere. Anywhere. right? So think about that. And that's when we talk about communicating that trust and that brand right down to the school. When I walk into the school, that better be the same school I see at the website. That better be the same school I see in the graphic Facebook ad. That better be the same school I see in a 15-second reel. That better be the same school. Super important. I can't tell you how many school owners will go to me. Well, I did that because I thought it was cool. Cool. At the top of your website, you've got that scene from The Matrix, right? Where he's fighting Lawrence Fishburne in the first Matrix. And it looks like that inside of a pagoda, right? And superimposed because they did a green screen thing. You got the instructor, throwing some kick, some AI generated image. Well, it looked cool. It looked cool. That does not communicate a brand. Looking cool does not communicating a brand. Thoughtful intent, executed through consistent habit, is how you cultivate a great brand. You with me? And so then you walk into this guy's school and it's in a strip mall. He's got jigsaw puzzle mats. He's in a red and white and blue American flag uniform and he's got a freaking mullet. That is not going to earn trust. They're going to run the other way. Run the other way, run the other way. So again, I believe it's more meaningful. And yesterday in our meeting at Kin Creative, we had that discussion with our partners. And I want to share that with you. How many of us have ever been sitting up late at night, late night TV, and pops up that ad? Maybe let's just say hypothetically a taqueria, and it shows the owner and the wife and the kids. And the husband goes, "Hi, I'm John Gonzalez, and this is my family. We own Gonzalez Taqueria." Right? And kid goes, "Come on down and have a taco on us every Tuesday." Now, you got to admit the acting's probably really, really poor. I mean, nobody gets me on this one. Put it in there. Let me know if you've all seen a commercial like that. Go. And while I'm waiting for your answer, all the new people coming aboard, tuning in, say hi, tell me who you are and where you're tuning in from, okay? We've all seen that late night commercial, yeah? Now, if you look at it and it just with all the technology and everything, mainly car lot commercials. Yeah, Ashton, sure, sure. But they're not produced really, really well, right? They're normally not super, super creative, and the acting is really, really poor. Everybody with me? But those car lot guys, Ashton, those people who own the taqueria, it's authentic. There's no way someone's making that stuff up. It's as real as the day is long. And that earns trust, especially in a world of deep fake, AI generated misinformation and all the other songs they're singing. When I see Joe Smith with this really bad video saying, "Hey, this is Cal Worthington of Chevrolet. Come on down," right? We had this guy here and he rode on a horse. So I get it. But you know what? You go to that dealership, it looks exactly as it did in that commercial. You go to that dealership, hey, there's Kyle Worthington. So that consistency earns trust, right? Now, if Kyle Worthington was baking cookies and sitting in a spa, you go, what the heck? Where's Kyle? Right? Well, what he needs to be on the car lot. So I believe that part is really, really important. That's why, again, stock photos, AI generated ads, I'm not into. I'd rather have a more homegrown, organic commercial that's not shot super, super well, but it communicates the trust of what you see is what you get. You with me? So I'm still amazed that in the day and age we live in of digital technology and everything, that those types of commercials still exist. And they exist for that reason, right? They exist for that reason. What images are you sending to me there, Marco? Oh, yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I like that too. Yeah. So for us, it's very, very important that we control the narrative. But if you have no idea how to even begin, then you're at a loss. So I hope you watch this show today again and again and again. I think it's one of the most overlooked parts in our industry. And the fact that I still see the majority of our industry using a silhouette of somebody kicking, that's very challenging. There's no brand there. There's nothing that says anything. You might as well be a pizza parlor and just put pizza across the top, right? You need to have a brand. You need to have a message. And I know a lot of people will do that, right? I want a pizza parlor. You want pizza, it says pizza on top. That'll never turn into Domino's or Little Caesar or Round Table, right? Or Papa John or any of those things. It can never turn into that because there's no why. There's nothing unique about it. And that's the big thing I want to share is that I know you don't think you're anything special. I get that a lot. Well, I just teach karate. It's all I am. And no, you're not. There's a story to be told there of why you enrolled in karate, why you chose to be an instructor, why you choose to make this your life's work. There's a lot there, but it's unpacking it to where it makes sense, right? And if it doesn't appeal to a mom with a 6-year-old kid, if that's your demographic, if you're kid centric, then again, there's a huge disconnect. So it's a matter of connecting the dots. Once you know your brand and once you understand your avatar, your ideal demographic, then you take your brand message and identify as the number one resource to fulfill the need, right? Hypothetically, my child needs to learn to pay attention better. Live your best life with awesome focus and the ability to pay attention to do well in school and at home. That's just off the top of my head because I know my brand. I know my brand. I tied it into live your best life. I tied it into the mom's concern for her child, and I showed the results are you're going to get benefits at home and at school. You see? So that's the powerful thing about brand messaging is what it can do for the growth of your school. And I know that's important. Got to grow the school. Hey, Karth, what's happening? Make sure you go back and watch this one, Karth. You need to watch this one. It's just that, right? I'm ever mindful that if I'm not growing my business, then I'm famous in my own mind. And it's probably riddled with insecurity and ego and all the rest. If I can't grow a business, I can't take care of my team. And I'm not living my best life. If I can't grow my business and be very profitable, then I can't take care of my family well. And I'm not living my best life. If I can't grow my business and be profitable, we can't throw that event last night here in front of our home. Almost someone said like 700 people they counted came through here for Halloween to have cotton candy and these amazing bags of candy my wife made for each child. And of course, there was a CTA call to action card with a QR code inside each bag. You with me? But it's really the goodwill that cultivated. If we didn't have the money to buy $4,000 worth of candy, we couldn't have produced that event. Right? Plus, we had 3 trunk or treats. Plus, we had Halloween parties at both locations. You with me? So I'm trying to really drive home that trust starts with you. Okay? Case in point, good buddy of mine, Andre. His school was called Mavis Dojo for decades. And he wanted to rebrand. I said, okay, well, let's go back to the beginning. Why did you get into martial arts? Well, I got into a lot of trouble. Okay, sure. All right. And every time my parents would bring me home, the police would bring me home, he said, his parents never believed him. They always believed the police because he was in trouble all the time. So when I went into this martial arts school, that instructor was the first person who genuinely believed in me. And there was born Believe Martial Arts. And I said, well, okay, that's kind of cool, right? I can say to a mom with a 6-year-old kid, you should bring your child to us because we'll believe in him. Okay. All right. That's kind of cool. Right. But it needed the tagline, kind of like Nike, kind of like One Martial Arts. Now, people ask me that constantly as a brand. Why do I think One Martial Arts earns trust? Well, we can talk about the 100+ reviews for each location. That's one way. But really, in business, one is the highest level of excellence. Club one, bank one, medical one. There's so many businesses that use the word one because one is number one. We're the highest level of excellence, right? I'm number one in my class. I'm number one. But it also, for us, promoted the sense of unity and oneness, which is a big part of what I do because I grew up in a family martial arts school. See, so it wasn't just one thing or another. It was a culmination of intent and habits and purposes. I knew business-wise, it was smart to call us One Martial Arts. I knew at a heart level and a culture level, one for family is a good day. And for me, God is a big part of my life. So one is another word for God. But I don't advertise that because we have such a diverse group of people coming into our schools. I would never say one is another word for God. Right? I wouldn't do that in my schools. But at a subliminal level, when I get up and go to work each day, I'm looking at that one going, I understand. It's part of my purpose is to be God-centered. So it's a reminder. It's a habitual reminder when I see the word one martial arts. Okay, but I wouldn't mark it from that point. Just like Nike doesn't mark it from whatever, goddess of whatever, right? So I'm mindful of that. So you see where I'm going with this? There's a lot that goes into a brand. And that's why Fortune 500 companies will pay millions and millions of dollars for somebody to come in and rebrand their business. You take Google, which is now Alphabet. Do they still call it Google? But the mother company is what? Now it's Alphabet. Meta, do they still call it Facebook? Yes, they do. But Meta is the mother company now. See? So it's okay to rebrand. And I don't want you to be afraid of that, especially if you can rebrand and create a brand that has the ability to organically earn trust. Earn trust. You with me? Because everything is about earning trust, right? I want to earn your trust. It is so easy to lose that trust. And that what leads me into the final part of today's show. Is you spend all this time cultivating a meaningful brand, you're in the community, you know, in-house events, community events, Facebook ads, Google, Instagram, all those things, internal events, all that, great classes, things like that. But you spend no time honoring that relationship. And when they quit, for whatever reason, created that distrust. Now, some people just quit because they lose interest. We're not discussing that. I'm talking about that student who leaves because you broke the bond of trust. That's it. We will do everything because the trust and the value of the relationship is number one. Number one. And if it's refunding you money, if it's doing ABC, we will do it. Because the relationships we invest in are not a relationship of, I pay you, so you must do what I say. No way. They pay us because they value that this is the best investment for their child's personal development and growth. So we cultivate these meaningful relationships where the relationship is above money, is above everything. So when we talk about controlling the narrative, what we're also discussing is brand value. Write it down. We will do everything we can. We won't lie or cheat or steal, but we will do good things with good core values to preserve the integrity of our brand. And that's why humility is one of our core values. I make mistakes. I am sorry. What can I do to fix that? Right? But see, if you come about it that way and taking these defensive postures, it's a good day. It's a really good day. I can't tell you enough how it's such a good day when you can cultivate a brand from a place of humility, right? And Walt Disney taught me that. I've taken a couple of Disney business courses. I've read a lot about Disney business. One of Walt's operating systems was when somebody would bring something to Walt, right? Whether it's Snow White they're working on or a ride in Disneyland or, a new outfit for the cast members to wear. They would always bring it to Walt. And his first knee-jerk reaction was, what do you think? What do you think? Not, I'm Walt Disney, do it my way, I'm almighty, higher, and that's the way it goes. No, what do you think? I see, because I think the thing about a great brand and that earns trust is I don't need to be right. I need to get it right. So it's the same thing here. If you want to earn people's trust, then you don't live in this place of ego where you can't admit you're wrong. You need to do that from day one. And that's one of my personal habits and core values and brand absolutes, I should say. My core value is humility. The brand absolute is anytime someone says, you are highly recommended, you're super freaking awesome, and I can't wait, my kid is loving it, and I always share, but we can always do and be better. So please know that if there's anything we can do better for your family, feel free to let us know. And that kind of leaves them offset for a moment. They kind of like, oh, what the heck, right? What the heck's going on here? because um, I recognize those types of compliments can leave a very hollow path for you to negotiate. And what I mean by that is you no longer stop owning that brand, owning up to it, consistently earning that trust. You can't earn trust once. We earn trust with each and every class we teach. We earn trust with hello at the front door. We earn trust when we tie your belt. We earn trust when we lift you up versus putting you down. We earn trust when we bow out that class and say, what are you going to go out there and do? And they say, live your best life. We earn trust. Last night, my wife gives out those candy bags, the majority of them, and I dole out that cotton candy. The community, somebody drove by this morning as I was getting ready to get all of this paper shredded. And he said, I live around the corner and I saw it at next door that you do this. So I drove by and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for uplifting our community. Isn't that our brand promise, to help people live their best life? We're going to live our best life by uplifting the community. So all these people in our driveway last night, they're not here to buy martial arts. Now, I could have made that a sales fest. I could have put a team out there with clipboards going, you want cotton candy? Give me your name and email. No way. No freaking way. Because live your best life has nothing to do with getting new students. Living your best life has to do with earning trust and doing everything we can to refine that relationship of trust and deepen that relationship of trust. So, if and when you are ready for martial arts, we're the only resource you're going to seek out. And that alone is people say, well, what's your ROI? I'm like, oh my God. My God. And then again, as I shared at the top of the broadcast, being there on Saturday at that trunk or treat at Diane Feinstein, and next to me is this guy setting up a tent and, hula hoops and chalk for the kids to draw on. He even had a whiteboard and he wrote $50 gift card giveaway. He just wrote on a whiteboard. And this guy is one of the owners of Sports Basement. Look him up. Look him up. They have 13 stores. I believe they're all here in California, up and down. Amazing, amazing brand. Multi-million dollar brand, huge brand. And this guy, one of the founders, is sitting at this elementary school serving the community. So we had a really deep discussion about that. And he just talked about the value of community-based marketing, but even more so, leading by example. Him being the CEO, him being one of the founders, physically out there. It's not nearly as impactful. It's sending a team member out there is not as nearly as impactful as him being there. That is why I'm the guy schlepping the cotton candy. I'm that guy. You with me? And my wife's giving out the candy. And how much more intimate than in front of our home? Now, these things are thought out. I don't want to say calculated, but they're thought out. But it's all rooted in what? Trust, earning the trust. People consistently can trust. Every Halloween, they come to our house. Every Halloween, it's decorated. We have a couple of stations they can take family pictures at. Every Halloween, they know they're going to get this big bag of candy. And even that is about living your best life. You want to go deeper on earning trust? I'm a guy. I buy a big bag of candy at Costco. I take a handful and stick it in a bag. No, 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 no. My wife painstakingly separates the Milky Ways from the Hershey's, from the Kit Kat, and then each bag gets an equal amount of candy. Because one, you're not living your best life if you got a bag full of Twizzlers or freaking Baby Ruths. Not happening. But living your best life is the sense of equality, which goes in line with one martial arts, right? We're all one. We're all equal. This kid opens his bag. He goes, ooh, I got a Kit Kat. This kid opens a bag. Ooh, I got a Kit Kat too. So that sense of one martial arts, live your best life, even something as basic as this freaking bag of candy my wife spends 2 weeks on. I think we $4,000 worth of candy. I think last night at our home alone, we did 300 bags. These trunk or treats, we did 200 bags each. Each school did 100 bags each. Do the math. But she painstakingly does that. Why? She's committed to live your best life. Just a freaking bag of candy. No, it's not. No, it's not. Not at all. It's more than a bag of candy. A lot more than a bag of candy. You with me? So again, when you have this brand that's rooted in your purpose statement, live your best life, magic happens. If you get a chance, go look at my social media pages. You'll see the number of people. We were just amazed, wow, it's gotten bigger. It's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. We even thought the police were going to come shut down because there were people in the streets and everywhere. But imagine the goodwill that does for the community. It would have been totally tainted if we took a sales approach and didn't market from our purpose. And like the Taekwondo master who studied our classes for 3 days said, you're the art of selling without selling. Because when you're living from purpose and you're earning the trust of the community that you serve, that's when the magic can happen. Cool? All right, put in your questions. It's more than a bag of candy. It's in the details. It really is, Karth. I can't express that enough. And people said, wow, that's a lot of time. And it's so weird. My wife won't really, my kids do some bags and I separate the candy, right? I don't know how many Costco runs I made, but I separate the candy into these metal tins, right? The kids bag up some, but it's really my wife. That to fulfill that purpose, she's living her best life and she likes it. She really, really, really likes it, right? And that's cool. That's cool because it is. It's not about a bag of candy. It's not about treating a student, treat every student today like it's their first day. It's all in the details, Karth. And if you have that brand and you're consistently living from your brand promise, ours is live your best life, then there is no ego. There is no ego. And when we have meetings and we discuss, do you want to do this, do that? I run it through, does it help people live their best life? Does it help the team live their best life? If it does, we can have a discussion. If it doesn't, we table it. We table it. So to operate as a business from that viewpoint also earns that trust because it's very consistent. And as I shared, the key is in consistency. You need to be consistent in everything that you do. Some guy the other day, and I didn't say anything to him, but I wanted to. He's posting about fitness and health and our school, da 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 da. And then he puts, a picture of him with a big ass cigar in his mouth. I wouldn't do that. Well, it's my private page. No, it's not. Everybody can see it. Make no mistake, there's no privacy in the digital domain. There simply is not. There is not, there is not. So we need to be mindful of that. So, I don't smoke or drink, and I'm not judging that person for smoking a cigar. I would just say if you were aware of your brand, you probably just smoke that cigar in private, right? And not post it publicly. Maybe, right? Maybe. So again, when we talk about earning that trust, I think the biggest thing that's helped me to cultivate that trust is to live from that humility. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but you can trust. We will own it because living our best life is accountability. It doesn't mean we won't make mistakes. It doesn't mean we won't fail. And we put that right out there, right? Especially when people are praising us from no end when they sign up. We remind them that we are not perfect, but we are perfect in our imperfection. And that perfection is we want to do right by you. We want to live our best life. And by doing right by you, we can fulfill that. So if there's anything we can do better, don't hesitate. Never hesitate. Cool? So if you have any questions, any takeaways, put them in the comment. I would love them. This is one I encourage everybody to go back and watch again and again and again. And as I shared, it was motivated just out of everything going on around us in the political climate. People can lie, just lie. And nobody does any real research on it or anything. It's scary. It's just scary. And then how lies become the truth. I saw some crazy one where some woman honestly believes that, human beings can control the weather and they're the ones who made the hurricanes happen. That's really crazy. That's really crazy. I wish I could go stand out there on a rainy day and part the clouds, right? And stop the rain. I don't know. Tell me I'm crazy, but I don't think anybody can physically stop or make a hurricane, right? So I think it's important to know that and not manipulate, but if anything, go deeper. Be that bad commercial at 2 a.m. Be authentic, be honest, be real. And I don't want to see any AI generated Santas this holiday. If I can encourage one thing, don't do that. I'd rather have a picture of you in your uniform with a Santa hat saying, come on down for a holiday party. Or this month, our special is siblings train free, whatever that you do. But that scent of authenticity is one of the reasons why I still believe at 2 a.m., you can see that local commercial that's shot really poorly where they're like, I can't even act, come down to my restaurant. I mean, because it's at least real, it's authentic, and it stands out above the imagery of AI generated stock photos, chat GPT scripts, and all the rest. It just does. And remember, when we talk about earning that trust, we're not just talking about a global brand or a drop ship product like mushroom coffee. So I'd be very careful on the digital marketers that you engage with because I think fundamentally they're missing the boat on one thing. You're trying to earn the trust in a 3 to 5 mile radius of your brick and mortar location, right? 3 to 5 mile radius. So everything we do, we don't really go beyond 5 miles. It doesn't make sense unless we donate to a silent auction as a goodwill act, right? A week of camp to some school 10 miles away, right? Which is okay to do once in a while. We're not against that. But we do understand our focus and responsibility is to that 3 to 5 mile radius of our brick and mortar location. So everything we do, every act we go after is really, really, really about earning that trust. So last night, that little event of cotton candy, we earned trust. The 3 elementary schools that know they can call us up to come out and do trunk or treats, we earn that trust. We earn that trust consistently. And once you earn that trust year after year after year, they'll seek you out. Even when the committees change, one PTA committee becomes another, they'll still seek you out because they know year in and year out, One Martial Arts will be there to help you live your best life in whatever way we can support. Cool? Cool. Hey, what topic we are having conversation on? I'm not sure who that is, sir. I've never seen them eat and repeat. Eat and repeat. We're talking about trust, the last true form of marketing. So, if you don't have any questions, I'm going to thank my sponsors, please. We have Tucson, Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting, and Kin Creative. All wonderful brands that I get to work with personally, that I use, that I support, that I recommend, because the trust is from a long-term relationship. Nobody's perfect. No product's perfect. But I value and trust the relationships that these companies will do right. Will do the right thing. Cool? It's Time Life Purpose, right? That's coming up this week. Oh, I'm so excited. We're prepping everything and I just love it. It's a 4-day event. The 4-day event is sold out. We have the spots are filled, but the 1 day and 2 day, you can come out. Local school owners that only want to come to Dave Kovar's boot camp, you can do that as well. So there's a lot of different options. Just go to brandonbliso.com, look under events, and look at It's Time Live Purpose. I promise you, if you come here, number 1, you will discover your purpose. Number 2, you will grow your school. And 3, we will transform your life. Cool? Cool, cool, cool. All right. So thank you for today. We need trust. We really, really do. And more now than ever. Trust is something that's being lost. And to be able to trust somebody and know with your heart and soul that they got your back is a powerful, powerful thing. And if we as martial arts schools can offer that safe haven where people can trust, we're going to support their children, right? And they're going to trust that we're going to create the safest environment possible. Safe and supported are the 2 key things that parents are looking for when they put their child in an extracurricular activity or a charter school or a private school. They need to know it's safe and they need to know you support their child. If we can do those things, then the potential to grow our schools so we can take care of our families, right? Take care of our team and impact the community truly becomes ours. All right. So I want you to subscribe to this podcast, Success Never Sleeps, at YouTube, and Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify. It's everywhere. Watch this again and again and again. I think it's going to really help your business stand out today and in 2025. And I highly recommend that you watch all of the episodes of Success Never Sleeps at all those platforms. Please follow me at YouTube. Follow me at Instagram. Join our Disruptor group at Facebook. And for everything else, go to brandonbliso.com. I am Brandon Bliso. Thank you, Marco, for the graphics and holding down the fort. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life.